und grün wie das Verbrecherin. Oh, Spaß an die Fläche geschlafen, reicht bei Los ihre Flug.
My name is Anne Evans, and I'm here working with Opera North on their new production of Die Walküre. I say new production because it's going to be semi-staged, but I'm here to work musically with the singers. Walküre is about human feelings, although they're gods. The music is so dramatic. You know, people who don't know it, and I say to them, just listen to it for a while before going to hear an opera singer, and then all of a sudden they find it really grabs them.
My name's Jennifer Johnston, and in this production I'm singing Waltraute, who is one of the Valkyries. Rheingold's a bit of a sort of prelude to the rest of the story, if you like. It sort of sets up the journey that Wotan and Brunhild are about to take. I covered Fricka in Rheingold as well as singing one of the Rhine Maidens, and I'm also singing Waltraute in this, but also covering Fricka. So in that sense it's nice to have learnt the whole role.
I'm Dougie Scarf, Orchestra Director at Opera North, and today is another very exciting day. I can't quite believe it's only a year since we started our ring journey, but today is the first orchestral rehearsal day for the second opera in the cycle, Die Walküre. Following on from Rheingold last year, which was the shortest one of the ring, being just 2.5 hours, we're now into the first of the really long shows. Walküre lasts a good sort of 5.5 hours, and it is a massive production. And for us also, we are delivering this ring cycle in 4 different venues. So it needs an awful lot of coordination right across the country to ensure that what we deliver in Leeds also works brilliantly at the Symphony Hall Birmingham, Sage Gateshead, and at the Lowry in Salford Quays, and which I think is a really unique thing we're doing. The ring cycle at Opera North is a really important moment. As the national opera company for England outside London, we feel a very strong the importance of our role in providing these works to our public.
The Valkyries are an interesting bunch. As a group of 9, they form, if you like, an army of warrior women who Wotan can send out to do his bidding. And in fact, in the scene that they appear in, they're all bringing back dead heroes in their saddles. So they are pretty important. However, of course, Brunhild is paramount.
The ring cycle's a pretty massive piece of work, massive tranche of work. When Opera North first asked me to do this, they asked me really to come up with a framework in which to mount the entire cycle on an annual basis in a concert version. Some people use the phrase semi-staged. I don't like that. I like fully staged concert version because I think the other sounds a bit like an apology for something. all of the visual material on the triptych of screens is prepared before we start rehearsal. It's totally influenced by the music and the narrative of the piece. I think every opera company wants to approach the Ring because it's a fantastic tranche of music. Opera North is a very ambitious company generally in terms of what it tries to do, and I think it's always trying to do new things, which is fantastic.
I'm the music director at Opera North, and I'm conducting these performances of Wagner's Ring Cycle. People often say that Die Walküre is the most sort of overtly attractive music in the whole cycle, and I think that's partly to do with the characters that first appear in this opera. Das Rheingold, of course, sets out the basic plan. It involves the initial sort of catalyst for the catastrophe that is the end of Götterdämmerung. In a sense, Wagner, he sort of delayed the introduction of human beings. So in Das Rheingold, we've got gods, we've got dwarfs, we've got Rhine maidens, but mortal beings, human beings, don't appear until the very first scene of Die Walküre. Rheingold is incredibly strong, powerful music, but I would say that in comparison with Die Walküre, it's slightly more black and white because it's setting the scene. And after all, he did describe it as a preliminary evening. In a sense, from now, Die Walküre is the first proper evening of the Ring Cycle, and of course it's a much longer piece.
Hi, I'm Annalena Persson, and I'm singing the role of Brynhilde in Valkyrie in this production. Brynhilde is she's a girl full of life. She is a really strong character, and she likes to fight for what she wants and take her own decisions. That's not good for her sometimes. The Brynhilde is, you need to be a high soprano, but you also need almost the bottom of a mezzo-soprano. It starts very, very powerful and with a lot of high notes, and then you have to come down and be more or less a mezzo rest of it. That's something you have to deal with technically. For me, opera is both. It's both acting and singing, and both are really, really important.
Ein Trug voller Schuf, die Schwert, das Feig vor dem Feind mich verrät. Front es ist gegen den Feind, so fromm es denn wieder den Freund. Zwei Leben lachen dir hier, nimm sie Not und neidischer Stahl, nimm sie mit einem Streich.
if you perform a piece of this scale in a theatre, something actually would be lost. Firstly, because most theatres don't have a pit the right size for a Wagner orchestra, so they would inevitably have to scale it down. So it wouldn't necessarily sound as good, firstly. But also, this particular acoustic in the town hall is a big acoustic, which means for us it's of a benefit, really. Because we're standing in front of the orchestra, our voices are the first thing that people hear because we're in front of them. And it does mean that I think the complete experience is probably much more thrilling in a way for an audience than it would be in a theatre. And certainly we feel like we have a much more immediate connection both to the music and to the audience. Because of the scale of the music, we feel like we're sort of swept along in it.
Nicht wissen darf ich, was sie fühlt, Strafen ohne. Und Sigmund, Sigmund von
Well, here we are. We've just finished the show, and I'm elated. I'm quite relieved to get through it, actually. And it's only the second time after the dress rehearsal that we've actually played the entire piece in one go. And I think if there was no such thing as adrenaline, I don't think it would be possible.
It went really well, I think, we hope. The audience response was amazing, and we had a great time. And an indicator of a really great performance is that it flashes by in a second, and it certainly did tonight, so we're thrilled.
Anna-Lena went ill just yesterday, and I only found out about 9 p.m. last night. In fact, I was just about to go to bed. So we worked very hard overnight to fly Kelly in first thing this morning. To take over, and that's potentially a very difficult situation because, of course, Anna-Lena, who is ill, has done all the rehearsals and all the work. We flew her in. She only got here this afternoon, and it worked fine. I mean, it's terrific when you have a singer like that who just comes in at short notice, and you can tell that she's listening to everything that we do.
Into this town hall theater, amazing. The acoustic is overwhelming, especially on stage, sort of in the middle of the orchestra. It was so great falling asleep at the end of the piece and having the orchestra just wash over me and getting to, actually take a nap because I think I had an hour and a half of sleep last night.
And it's been a fantastic project, this. I mean, the cast have been absolutely wonderful. It's been a great team, a lot of very modest people there, and it's lovely when a lot of people are doing their roles for the first time. You know, some very distinguished singers doing their roles for the first time, and that's a huge achievement. And I think the orchestra have really enjoyed it too. I mean, they've played fantastically. They've been amazing in the rehearsals, very good humoured as well. I mean, it's a very long play, so it's been a terrific experience.